Today I reached another milestone in the installation of my 383 into my Chevy truck, and today I'm going to talk about the exhaust system and the headers that I installed. So I used Hooker headers, model 2462 HKR. I got the painted ones, and also the exhaust system that goes with it, header back exhaust system, part number 16533 HKR. Now you notice this kit is made for 1988 through 1995, 1500, 2500, 3500 truck, four-wheel drive, small block. So there's a lot of questions on the Summit page about what this kit actually fits. Well, I can tell you what it fits. It fits a short wheelbase truck, not a long wheelbase truck. So I had to add about 2 feet of pipe in both right and left exhaust pipes to make up the length. Now I find that kind of strange that that this kit wouldn't be made for the longer wheelbase truck, because it fits a 2500 and 3500, and I've never heard of a short wheelbase 2500 and 3500 truck. Those are usually work trucks, usually have a regular cab, an 8-foot bed. So I don't know where they come up with that, but with the addition of 2 straight pipes about 2 feet long, you can make the kit work, and mine turned out real nice. So I'm going to go out to the truck and show you the headers and show you the exhaust system, and talk about how I installed it. Alright, so the engine is installed, and you can see the headers there. They worked out really nice. On this side of the engine, you have to pull that dipstick back out and come in from the bottom, and on the other side the headers go in from the top, and they're a real nice, easy fit. They don't rub anywhere. You can see the installation there. There's plenty of room around everything. I don't think there's going to be any issue with rubbing or anything. I am going to add some insulation to some of my wiring because it is kind of close. Over here on this side, I was a little bit concerned about it at first. It came pretty close to the heat shield down underneath the cab. It came pretty close to that, but it did clear it, so I don't think there's going to be any issues with it. There's plenty of room around the starter. You can see that piece of conduit there. I'm just not quite finished doing my wiring yet. I was waiting until I got the engine put in and figure out how I was going to lace that up with some tape and put that conduit over it and put in the insulation I need to over it, protect it from heat. Okay, so I'm going to go underneath and I'm going to show you from head to toe the exhaust system, starting at the headers and going back to the mufflers, and how I attached them to the frame of the truck. And so I have to do this the old-fashioned way. I don't have a lift, so pardon my terrible video. Okay, so see if there's enough room for me to get under here with all this camera and light and everything. You see what it's like to work on one without a lift, but I managed to do it. Okay, so there's the header on the passenger side. Bring the light over here so we can see. You just install a gasket there, flange and nut and bolt. So you can take a look at that. That's the header coming in from on the bottom. It goes directly into a head pipe. And then over on this side, I like them because they tuck up underneath quite well. And then I've got my drive shaft loosed right now for the front drive shaft, so it's not actually that close, but there's plenty of room all the way around it. And up above there you'll see some conduit. That's actually the fuel lines that I've got them pulled over, and they're hanging down further than usual. But somewhere in this vicinity here, I'm going to put the pressure regulator with the return on it and run my fuel lines up over my transmission and come into my carburetor from the back side of the engine. Hopefully. I'm still thinking about exactly how I'm going to do that. Okay, so this head pipe here on the driver's side, it comes back, goes above the cross member, and it makes a sharp turn right here and goes in between the torsion bar mount and the transfer case. It goes down, then goes back up. It's got a joint right there in the middle. You put a clamp on, and everything goes in really pretty easy with this kit. There's no, tight corners or anything that you can't get around, so it works out pretty decent. And it is pretty close. I'm not expecting any problems, but it is fairly close to the transfer case there. But I put everything together and then just loosely fasten everything and position everything for maximum clearance all the way around. And then over here, joins in over here on the right hand side, both head pipes. You can see the one that's coming from the left and then the one that's coming from the right. And then it goes into a center inlet and offset outlet muffler of your choice. I'm using Hooker turbo headers. I wanted something that sounded fairly decent, but I didn't want anything too loud, so I went with that. And I'm going to turn the camera around. We can start to look at the system from the front back to the rear. Alright, it's really a challenge to do this video without a lift. So those two head pipes come in to your two mufflers here on the passenger side, and they give you a short section of strap to tie the two clamps together so you have some clearance between the mufflers. And then I've got the system hung from 3 locations where the factory had it. Actually was you can see right here above, it's bolted to the cross member there, and that was a factory location originally. And I'm not using the straps that the hangers that Hooker provided with the kit. They were kind of low quality and I didn't like them, so I went and bought some from O'Reilly's. And so the muffler's go on back, and you have a similar situation right here behind. See if I can turn back around again. Similar situation behind here. The two tailpipes come in and they clamp, and then you got a short section of strap there to hold the mufflers together. And so I thought that worked out pretty nice. Everything was bent really close to what you need, and so I didn't have to do much repositioning or cutting or anything. So here's what I was talking about. This kit's made for the short wheelbase truck, so I had to add in these two pipes here. I just bought 24-inch pipes. They're already expanded on one end, so I didn't have to have an expander, and then just connected that here with 2 more clamps into the tailpipes that came with the kit. And you'll notice above, using again the factory location for the hanger, 2 hangers here at the rear that I did. It's really tight. I don't hear any rattles or anything. So at some point, what I have a tendency to do when I have these clamps on mufflers like this, when I change the oil, I'll just slide up under here and hit these nuts a couple of times and tighten them up a little bit. Otherwise, you could weld it. I have a MIG welder that I could weld it, but I can't imagine coming under here and welding it without a lift. It would be awful. It might be just as easy to take it to a muffler shop and let them do it. Okay, so then back here at the back, you got the 2 pipes that are bent to go up over the axle, and then there's 2 more pieces that bolt on here at the rear. Again, a similar situation like I did with the mufflers. I have the short piece of strap. It's a shorter piece this time because the pipes are closer together, and they both exit out on the passenger side behind the right rear tire. There's plenty of room around the spare tire, which I was happy about that. And instead of like the factory did on this truck, they had the pipes side by side. This one, they actually, with the tailpipe here, they cross over, and they're on, one's on top of the other one, and they go out like you can see there. And so I'm going to slide out from under here so you can see how they look where they exit out. I've got everything tightened up and pretty much ready to go. I checked it for rattles. Didn't seem to have any. I think it's going to be a pretty nice sounding system. And this is, by the way, 2 1/4 inch pipe, mandrel bent pipe. Okay, so I'm going to crawl out from under here and show you what the tailpipes look like where they exit behind the wheel. Pardon my video again. Got to get up off the ground. My 50-something-year-old knees. Alright, I'm up. Alright, so here's what it looks like here at the rear. I don't think it looks too bad. I really prefer them side by side, but this is how they did their kit. So, and there's one last hanger back here at the back that I did. I just went through a hole. This was close to where the factory had it tied to, but you can see I just found a hole there and put a strap on it. Nice and tight, no rattles or anything. I got the truck setting level, and I actually just stuck a level here on this and put them so they'd be perpendicular to the truck frame there. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. One thing I did do, because I'm a type A personality, this pipe here stuck out just a little bit more than this one. So I actually just put a straight edge on here and put a mark and just sawed this one off like about 1/4 inch, so they look, came out the same distance there. That's being a little anal, I think, but that's how I am, so I want it perfect. Alright, so this pretty much concludes the video about the exhaust system. If you have any questions about it, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.